Do not skip this short. Now here is a terrifying story. Megan had just moved into her new apartment, a small but cozy place with an antique feel. The previous tenant had left behind an old, ornate mirror mounted in the hallway. Its surface was slightly tarnished, but it added a certain charm to the space, so Megan decided to keep it. One night, after a long day of unpacking, Megan was brushing her teeth when she noticed something strange in the mirror. Her reflection seemed off. She leaned in closer. Her reflection didn't quite match her movements. While she brushed her teeth, the reflection's hand hung motionless by its side, eyes staring back with an intensity that sent a shiver down her spine. Megan froze, toothpaste foaming at the corners of her mouth. Slowly, the reflection began to move, but not in sync with her. It reached up, touched its own face, and smiled, a twisted, unnatural grin that didn't belong on her face. Terrified, Megan backed away from the mirror, her heart pounding. She rushed to her bedroom, slammed the door, and huddled under the covers. "It's just my imagination," she whispered to herself. Just a trick of the light. That night, Megan dreamt of the mirror. In the dream, her reflection stepped out of the glass, slowly crawling towards her bed with that same horrific grin. She woke up in a cold sweat, heart racing, but relieved to find herself still alone. The next morning, she cautiously approached the mirror. Her reflection looked normal again. She sighed in relief, chalking it up to exhaustion. But as she turned to walk away, something caught her eye. In the reflection, standing just behind her, was a shadowy figure. It didn't move. Megan whipped around, but no one was there. She looked back at the mirror, nothing. She told herself it was just her imagination again. Days passed, and the strange occurrences only got worse. Her reflection would smile when she wasn't, its movements often delayed or different. The shadowy figure began appearing more frequently, lingering in the background, always in the mirror but never in real life. One night, after enduring weeks of sleepless terror, Megan decided she'd had enough. She grabbed a blanket and covered the mirror, determined to rid herself of its sinister presence. For the first time in weeks, she slept peacefully. But the next morning, when Megan awoke, the blanket was folded neatly on the floor, and the mirror was uncovered. Her reflection wasn't there. Instead, she saw herself standing behind the glass, staring back at her, trapped. The twisted grin spread wide across her face as her reflection raised its hand and waved. Megan screamed, but no one heard her. Because in the real world, she was already gone. Sometimes, the most terrifying things aren't what we see, but what's watching us from the other side.